All right, welcome to our first evening entrepreneurship showcase. Raise your hand if you were here this morning. Yes, 2 million cups, people. Welcome. Shh. Welcome. Tonight's gonna be a little different. We're gonna have one presenter, and if you've never been here, the way it works is they're gonna come up, and for about 6 minutes, they're gonna present their business. We're gonna throw it over to our expert panel for questions, and then we will open it up to the audience for questions. First, we want to thank some of our sponsors, community sponsors. They come up on there. I don't have it. But if you could, take out your phone, and we have a 1 Million Cups app. If you download that, you can provide direct feedback to the presenters, which they appreciate very much. And we want to acknowledge all the awesome businesses we have in here for the Small Business Fair. We're going to have Kyle start over there, and each of them are going to quickly introduce themselves.
All right, here we go.
I am Letitia Arthur, CEO and Life Mentor.
Hi, I am Carletta Temple, and I'm the owner of South Realty Group and the She Group, and we are your local real estate broker, so call us for all your real estate needs.
Hi, my name is Tiffany, and this is Aisha, and we are the co-owners of Smash Glam. We are a makeup and photography firm that specializes in personal and business branding. Come by and take a picture in our headshot photo booth.
Hi, I'm LaDonna Johnson with Organic Soul KC. We're a plant-based catering company here in Kansas City, and come by or call us when you need some catering events. Thank you for having us.
All right, coming over to you guys.
Sean Crawford, we have Tevin Johnny on my right, Forrest right on my left. Melanated Investment, we do residential, commercial, real estate, community service, a lot of outreach. We're also in the food industry. That's about it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Kevin Manning, DJing by the name of DJ2K. I'm with Khalees Monet Events. We do any type of planning you need, and there's no type of genre I can't spend for.
Good evening. I'm Clarissa Knighton. I own Rissa's Artistic Design Jewelry Company. I work with organic and gemstones.
Hello. I am Famous Davis with Davis House of Catering. Follow us on all social media at Davis House of Catering. Come try our shrimp and grits, and we just appreciate y'all having us.
Hi, I'm Jackie with Sew and Peace Alterations. We do clothing alterations, furniture upholstery, and vintage clothing, and we're located down in the River Market.
Hello, my name is Patsy Ybarra, and I'm an interior decorator and the owner of HS Interiors. We have a home decor line that we're launching called the Trinity, based on the concept that you can take 3 things to transform a room, and not only that, but it's transformational. You know how we like to change up. So Patsy Ybarra.
My name is Ray Lynn, and my business is called Ray's Materials, and I'm a young kidpreneur, and I make my own beads. I make paper beads, I make clay beads, and my bracelets are $5 and $7.
Good evening, y'all. My name is Whitney Manny. I am a fashion and textile designer based here in Kansas City. My work is inspired by the aesthetics of street art and cultural phenomena on our urban landscape. Everything is handmade from scratch. Come see me. My studio is in Westport.
Awesome, thank you. Let's give them all a round of applause for being here. Almost forgot to introduce ourselves. I'm one of the community organizers. My name's Caitlin, Tyler, John, Billy, Kyle, Courtney's in the back running the video, and we're now going to have our expert panelists introduce themselves.
Good evening. My name is Marvin Lyman. I am the outgoing president of the Black Economic Union, the oldest community development corporation in Kansas City, and the oldest Black community development corporation in the country. In addition to that, we'll be returning to the private sector here shortly with Sankofa Economic Development Group. And we are glad to be here, and we want to, again, thank all of the participants, the vendors that are around the building.
Hi, everyone. My name is Daryl Ansah. I'm the Community Health and Wellness Coordinator with the Urban Neighborhood Initiative. And I just want to say I am very far from an expert, but I'm honored to be in this position.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. All right, let's get this started. Please present a warm welcome to Miko from Shots by Miko.
Miko Richardson of Shots by Miko Custom Cocktails and Shots, your favorite drinks, favorite mixologist. So, Shots by Miko is the unintentional brainchild of mine. You guys see it clearly, fully unintentional. It all started out when I was making fun and creative beverage options for friends. You know, soaked gummy bears, Skittles, soaked in vodka, things of that sort. And then I started bartending in 2009 and was honored to be given the position at multiple venues as the lead or head bartender, all the while still coming up with drinks on the fly and being remembered for such. And then a great friend of mine gave me the idea to turn these fun drink options into actual business. So here's my team. At that time, in spring 2011, Shots by Miko Custom Cocktails and Shots was created, originally as a Bartenders on the Fly company, with our official launch being July 2012. Then, after all the wants and needs of what became our clients, in late 2013, we changed our directive to become a full-service beverage company. So, with us making that change, we noticed a problem. So, you guys probably want to know what the problem was. Inside the beverage service industry of Kansas City, Missouri, there was not a beverage service provider that specialized in custom, meaning made by us just for you because you asked for it, not some, vodka and cranberry at the regular bar. And so, we decided we were going to solve that problem by creating a solution. The solution we created was to come around and provide different custom service options by which to cater to our clients, all the while not negating standard services provided by beverage companies. So, a couple of pictures of some of the things we do with my awesome team. So, while we were doing that and creating our custom niche, we figured out who our customer was. Our customer is someone between the ages of 25 and 58 who has disposable income via professionally or personally. When we say personally, we mean that they've been given access to funds by which to plan events, award ceremonies, conferences, industry mixers. And when we say personally, we mean weddings, baby showers, birthday parties, and family reunions. So let's not get it mistaken. We are not the only one out here providing beverage services. We do have some competitors. They're listed here if you guys would like to read them. No, honestly. Diamond Girl Bartenders, 3 Blondes and a Martini, Top Shelf Bartending, and Embrace the Great Beverage Catering Services are some of our local Kansas City metro area competitors. But there's a difference between us. The difference, you ask? There is. The difference is that we have the capabilities of creating a custom menu for you, not just cocktails, but mocktails. We also have the capabilities of doing theme drinks with colors, edible glitter, fruit additives, anything that you could think of that you would like just specifically for your event. We also have the capabilities of doing bottled favors for you, as well as one huge difference between us and our competitors is that we have a certified distilled spirit specialist on staff who's able to make your own custom liquor. So, we also have the capabilities of doing bottled favors, which some of you guys may or may not get if you ask some good questions this evening. In order for you to put into your gift bags to say thank you to your guests, add swag, or just for something for people to remember you by. We have the capabilities of doing that. We also provide a service called boutique services. It's where me and my team, mostly the team, they go into a brick and mortar retail space and they set up a very small footprint of a set menu. We do beer and bourbon, we do a margarita bar, we do a mimosa bar. So it's a very small footprint of very specified and specific custom options. We also like to get the call to be able to go to our local TV and radio stations and service some pretty big names on a whim. And when they call, we go and we make everything on the fly. Another huge difference is the Shots by Miko team. I will not be standing in front of you guys without the team. The team has, myself and the team, has more than 30 years of experience in the industry serving small, intimate events all the way to very, very large concert-sized crowds. And so we know how to handle it from the small to the tall. We can get it done. But let that not be something that you guys are like, oh, they got it handled. We do have hurdles. As a small business owner, there are hurdles. Our very first hurdle was just starting the business. The second hurdle was making it through the first year of the business. Let's not be mistaken about the third year, and we were so gracious enough to be able to celebrate 5 years in business this past July of 2017. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. But we still have other hurdles. With us being in business for these 5 years, we're still struggling with visibility. Not everyone knows we exist. Not everyone knows what kind of services we provide. Not everyone knows that you can't call those other competitors and get what we can do. They don't know that. So we're also working with that, working in hand helps to build up our credibility in the market. It's something that we're also struggling with. We are so gracious for our preferred vendors, our preferred venues that have us on their list. We're so grateful for that, and they refer us to their weddings, their different parties and that such, and our social media presence is heavy. Hashtag Shots by Miko, follow us on all of them. But we're still struggling with a few things, and so with that, we're so gracious to be allowed to step onto the 1 Million Cup stage and present Shots by Miko to you guys, and at this time, I'm open for questions.
All right, we're going to go ahead and turn it over to the experts. Waiting on you guys.
Good evening and thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
So, how did you capitalize your business when you first started?
Well, when we first started and when we did our official launch, leading up to our official launch, we hit the ground running. We worked as a promotional street team. We went everywhere, every event, and we gave out favors. We gave out samples to people to have in hand so that they would remember us instead of just talking face-to-face with us or just getting a business card, which are usually found on the ground later on. We gave them samples of our custom work. And then we followed up with those people who said they were interested or were movers and shakers within Kansas City, and we invited them to an invite-only official launch event in July 2012.
Kansas City is adding roughly about 3,000 apartment units into the downtown area by year's end. As we consider that, have you thought about how you might try to reach that market of millennials and renters by choice? These are folks migrating from areas such as Overland Park, Lee Summit, that are empty nesters and wanting to come back into the city.
Yes, we actually, talking with other movers and shakers in Kansas City, I've been told that Two Light, one of the newest complexes in downtown, has a co-working space. So we have a meeting on the books with them in order to get in there and be one of their beverage service providers when they have small events. I've also been made aware of iWorks, We've talked with the Plex Pod, so that way we can be in hubs where people are gonna be frequenting, especially seeing that the millennials a lot of them are entrepreneurs, so they're gonna need those co-working spaces instead of brick and mortar offices and things of that sort. So it's on the books.
Miko, great job. It's a great presentation. Yeah, this is great. I guess my question for you is when you shared your story, you are very creative, innovative. How do you and your team hope to continue to innovate, to continue to kind of, you listed your competition, but kind of didn't list them, right? It's kind of like, right? How do you guys, how are you planning on continuing to be an innovative force in this space as you expand the business? How are you guys going to do that?
My team and I, we keep an eye out on trends. We don't just watch the alcoholic and spirits trends, we watch all beverage trends. We watch food trends, so that way we can start creating ideas of complementary flavors, so that way when we work, we're not just catering to people who drink alcohol. We're not just catering to people who want to imbibe spirits. We do a full mocktail service for those who don't drink. And we're also looking into our gluten-free options because we know that people are having, gluten allergies and things of that sort. We're looking at how to work to make some of our flavor inputs sugar-free, so that way we can continue to keep expanding on our market and being able to be creative, as well as making sure we touch all those people.
What's your ideal annual revenue goal?
To be honest, because I'm here looking for help from the community, my perfect number is 0. I will say 0 because that means I don't owe nobody no money, and then we're working on getting money to come in. As a small business owner, I have no angel investors. I have no partners. Shots by Miko was financed by yours truly, point blank in the period. So if I can get to 0, we having a party. Y'all gonna come to my Shots by Miko made it to 0 party is what we're gonna do. So that's just being honest, but in all actuality, I would like to, no, I'm sticking with the answer, 0. Let's get there.
So you want 0 on the investment side, essentially, but in terms of annual revenue goals, what are you hoping to bring in per year?
I would hope to at least bring in $10,000 per team member. And currently I have 6, so there's $60,000 that I would like to have, and they probably wouldn't take it. They already talking about you can pay us less to get more customers, but they would let it sit in the bank account for the business because that's my family and that's what they do.
Have you looked at scaling your business to the point of maybe franchising or possibility of just taking it outside?
So, before we get to the question of the end of the night, what do I need from the community? We need advice on scaling because we're not sure with our current business model if it is scalable. So we need some advice on what scalability looks like, seeing that we are a service-based company and we would need bodies in different places in order to scale it. Or do we scale our bottle favors? So we're gonna be asking and looking for people to give us advice on how to scale our business up, and if it's even a possibility, or we just gonna keep, stomping through Kansas City and Kansas and Missouri, or whoever give us a liquor license with all the applicable paperwork, things of that sort,
So you had mentioned 5 years. You guys have been.
Yep, 5 years.
So when you look another 5 years out, where would you want Shots by Miko to be?
I want to have the option to be a visible force of Shots by Miko in 5 years. Currently, when we book lots of events, I have to step in the position of actually being an employee. I would like to not do that. And slowly but surely I am doling responsibilities onto my team to start slowly phasing myself out. But if we get to the point where the business is scalable, I would definitely like to sit in the background and let it do what it does with, keeping in mind my baseline of standards on how I move and what I expect from people who work for my company.
All right, we're gonna open it up to audience questions. If you have a question, please raise your hand. Got a question here in the center. 1 second. Hand them.
So one of my challenges when I go to things is they don't have mocktails, and I'm not a drinker. So I just want to compliment you on that, and also maybe suggest that might open you up to the underage market And, you know, when people have fancy parties, birthday parties for their kids, Sweet 16, quinceañeras, or
Yep.
whatever.
We're
like
already
maybe-
booking them. We are. We work with Show Me Shoes for their prom project when they give out the gowns. We do a full mocktail bar for that event. We've been booked, gotten a lot of calls and been booked for a couple quinceañeras, which is definitely a mixture of the two, mocktails and cocktail type situation, but we definitely looked into that. Our very first foray into that was the American Heart Association. They had a lot of the big pastors in the city come for their annual concert that they do, and they don't imbibe. And so we were like, oh, we can do this, just take out the alcohol. Because when we brainstorm our custom work, we start in a mocktail base anyway, and then we build in what type of alcohol base will work best with that flavor profile.
The next time somebody asks you about revenue, I want to hear you say $1 million, because
I know, right?
you're a powerhouse, girl.
Thank you, thank
do
you,
it.
thank you.
Another question over here.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, your enthusiasm and your presence is just very, very inviting, and I would definitely love to be at an event where your team is. So you mentioned about one of the hurdles about the marketability and getting the word out there. Have you all talked a little bit about your distinctive experience that you bring to the customer that's very different than what your competitors list?
Yes, ma'am. That is part of our niche. Usually whenever we converse with our potential clients, we do make sure that we emphasize the custom and the different aspects of what difference we can bring other than just vodka and juice. You know, we can make those things on the fly. We can sit and do a consultation with you so you can have a fully custom bar. And so a lot of them are like, yeah, sure, we just want 1 drink or 2 drinks, but we need that regular bar service too. And so we do work the duality of that. Yes, ma'am. How do you feel? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. One of the goals that we are working on for 2018 is to expand our video content, because it'll help convey that better than our social media posts, will convey. So it's one thing to read something and look at some cool art and everything, but it's another thing to see my team working and to talk with customers there. So we're definitely working on bringing a lot more video content so we can help convey that feeling, you know, to our potential clients and people who enjoy following us. You know, shout out to Mr. Dan Smith, covered video for me tonight. So we're working on that so that way we can make sure that we're conveying that even more.
I have a question.
Sure.
How did you come about getting your own distiller? What can you give me a little bit of the backstory on that? Was that something you always wanted, or was that based on feedback you were getting? Can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
So I used to work for one of the major distilleries here in Missouri, and they sent me off to actually get the certification. So, by the way, I am the certified distilled spirit specialist on the team. Didn't want to be confused, but I was working with them. I got hired by them after Shots by Miko was started, and I learned so much about how to take basic grain alcohol and grain things, you know, stripped spirits, and be able to kind of trick them out and make them something custom for our clients. So, yeah, we do not make cognac, FYI. Cognac is a product of France, FYI. We can do whiskey, but we cannot do cognac or champagne because those belong to those distinctive areas of France. So.
I've got a question for you. I may have missed this, but can you tell me about the forces that led you to make the decision of starting this particular business?
Input from friends. I was just having fun, doing things for friends and people that I knew. It never crossed my mind to say, hey, you can make money off of this, until someone said, you know, you can make money off of this by actually providing these services for people who want it. And it hadn't crossed my mind. I don't move in a money-motivated type vein, so it wasn't something that was on the top of my mind. So when it came about, my friend was like, hey, what you're doing, people will pay for, came about, Shots by Miko was created with the help of my friends.
We're sitting in the Kauffman Foundation, And as I think about that, I think about Ewing Marion Kaufman, and I think about Kansas City and how we have some very unique homegrown businesses. Have you considered talking with the Kansas City Visitors Association to get on their radar and to make sure that this brand is a part of the Kansas City brand?
Actually, it's on my list for 2018. I was just speaking with a friend who works for the city who was telling me what avenues to look into as far as getting on the radar for the city of Kansas City and the Visitors Bureau and other people that are pushing brands that are working here in the city that are homegrown. So it's on our radar. It's on our list for 2018, definitely.
Question over here.
Yes.
I love your spirit, lady.
Thank you. Thank you. My mother and father are here, so you can blame it on them. So.
Well, here's the next thing that I'm going to blame on them. I think you might be a little too giving, and I'm worried about you making money. I'm so worried about that because everything you're saying, it's making us all smile, and I feel like those smiles, there's so many of those and so few of the dollars. I'm sad about your goals because I want you you are wonderful. Why don't you want more money? And why don't you want more money for your team? And if you're you're in it because you love it and you like entertaining people, I already know that about you. But who's on your team right now that's really aggressive about the dollars? Do you have that person in your work life? It's you? Okay.
I already knew who was going to raise their hand. I already knew. And it's been something that we've covered in our team meetings about being more aggressive with that, because we are in a space where they speak with me on the clients speak with me on the phone, and we're missing at times the conversion aspect in order to get those dollars. And so we've definitely been exploring that in our team meetings on how do we get that, because it may take me out of the picture of conversing with the clients and get a stronger kind of
like a soft pass off to your money-making friend over here. Is she charging enough? Because that's really what everybody like me, cold-hearted people out in the audience are wondering. Is she charging enough to create? Mm-hmm. I'm going to say a thing. There are bad customers out there to have. And I know you feel like you need that awareness and you need that people saying that they got you and you were great. But I'm just gonna say that sometimes there are bad customers, and your time, not just your team's time, your time has value.
Yeah, I can't get it back. I do realize when people want a nickel and dime and barter and this, that, and the other, sorry, you're not my customer. You're not who I'm catering to. Thank you for your time. Thank you for, contacting Shots by Miko, but you're not you're not our target demographic. You're just not. So, I still go through the same spiel, but yeah, once you start trying to haggle me and, well, your competitor, but my competitor that you just listed is not doing what I do. No, people forget that small businesses have overhead. I have to keep my licensing up to date. I have to keep my permitting up to date. My team has to do that. I have an inventory space I have to pay rent on. Kansas City, Missouri, and the state of Missouri don't want me out here slanging alcohol without them knowing who's out here slanging alcohol. And it took us 9 months just to get our liquor liability insurance, because we're not a caterer. We don't do any food. We just deal in liquor and things and beverages of that sort. So it took 9 months for an insurance broker to shop it around for someone to insure us. And best believe, when that invoice comes, it's paid, because we're not going to do that. And I think people don't understand that just because we're fun and a good time doesn't mean we ain't got bills to pay. So.
Question for you in the center.
Yes.
Question.
Thank you for sharing your story. 2 really serious questions for you. What's your most favorite drink you've ever made, and what's your go-to cocktail?
Oh, all right. Well, my most favorite drink I've ever made probably involves glitter. Involves edible glitter. Because you can't digest glitter. So glitter makes its way out other facets. I think it's the funniest thing because I get inboxes and reviews and stuff like, yeah, that drink you made me, I saw glitter on it. I was like, look. TMI, but you know, I would probably say anything with glitter is probably my favorite. My favorite beverage to drink personally is anything with tequila, and I'm a tequila kid, so you get me to try any kind of tequila, you know, out there, high proof, low proof, not low proof, but you know, any kind of tequila out there. I'll even do the worm if I find it, but you know, hey, that's mine, so no problem.
Last question. I know you've kind of already talked about it, but what can we as a community do to help you?
Well, as a community, Shots by Miko needs your support. We have all the social media. We have, you know, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. We would like your support on that. We would also like you to tell your friends all about us, people who are getting married, people who want to throw birthday parties, people who just want to have something at their house. We can come to your house. We do that kind of stuff all the time. Also, we are looking for a service brand manager, not just a brand manager, someone who is like, oh yeah, I handle all these different type of brands. We are a service-based company, so we need a brand manager that knows what service-based businesses need. And so also, talked about the visibility strategies. We need to figure out what else can we do to follow up with that, with converting our clients. And so we are making a step forward with our video content, and so we're going to need that. And also, with that, we need some more direction in building market credibility so people do know that we're here and the awesome service that we provide and this brilliant personality that goes with it, you know. Also, we would like advice on if our business is scalable or portions of our business are scalable. And so we thank you guys for having us as the presenter for this evening. I was so super nervous, but you guys were great, and I greatly appreciate all of you guys listening to me tell my story. And my team is there, you know, they're all here, parents are here, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, folks. We're going to take a couple minutes to get our expert panel set up. And in the meantime, we're going to have John come up here and give us an announcement.
Hi, everyone. We have a really great opportunity with Kansas City Startup Weekend coming up on March 23rd through the 25th. We got a Grow with Google sponsorship, which covers all the costs for participants. So if you're free on March 23rd through the 25th, if you're a designer, developer, non-technical person interested in pitching an idea for a startup and working on it through the weekend, come find me after this. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, bear with us in just a couple of minutes. Okay, yes, okay, we want to introduce our entrepreneurship panel, Jordan Williams of Keefe Cravat and Wesley Hamilton of Disabled, but Not Really. Give them a hand. And our moderator tonight will be the Adrian Haynes of Seed Law. There you go. That's Adrian's mom.
I know I always get one cheer.
There you go. Better.
Testing. Ooh. I like it myself. Hello, everybody.
Hello. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. Happy Black History Month as we end it well with these two gentlemen. Again, my name is Adrian Haynes. I'm a proud managing partner of Seed Law, local entrepreneur, and general lover of our entrepreneurial ecosystem. And I also just wanted, before I get too deep into this, if we could just give a round of applause for all the businesses that have presented over this Black History Month and to the organizing committee. So proud to have been a part. Well, instead of doing a second presenter here, so in the mornings on Wednesdays, there's usually 2 presenters, an expert panel, and a room full of folks. But tonight, we wanted to highlight 2 of our entrepreneurs who have graced the 1 Million Cup stage before. Also 2 people that I happen to be huge fans of. So I'm gonna ask them to introduce themselves and their business, and then I'll get started on the hard questions. We'll start with Jordan.
Well, greetings. Hello, everyone. I said hello, everyone. All right, okay, I feel the energy a little bit. I'm Jordan Williams, as Adrian mentioned. I'm the owner and founder of Keith Cravat. We have a custom neckwear company, and we specialize in bow ties, neck ties, all in between. We do little lapel pins too, hence the little bow tie lapel pin I have on. On top of that, I've been doing this for 5 years. Tomorrow is my 5-year anniversary, so I'm super excited about that. Thank you, thank you. And I do just want to acknowledge the fact that 1 Million Cups put this presentation together. I know when I presented for 1 Million Cups, it was in 2014, and it was not this many people of color. And the fact that this has been decided on and someone actually took the time to develop this is just it's a testament to how the entrepreneurship community is evolving. So give yourselves a round of applause. Shout out to all of you. I just wanted to say that.
Man, oh man. I don't even feel like I do that much. Oh man.
Come on, Wes, come on.
Oh man, all right. I'm the director of the Disabled But Not Really Foundation. We promote fitness and nutrition within the disabled community to help instill a physical, limitless mindset to those who are physically limited. Also, I am an adaptive athlete and inspiring speaker. Really trying to raise awareness about the disabled community. Just like, you know, tonight is a great event representing the African American community. I believe that when we think about diversity, we also need to include the ones that are disabled as well. So for me, it's a passion and a purpose to go out and show others just because you have a disability doesn't mean that you can't be just like anyone else, and vice versa. So, yeah. Thank you for having me.
Welcome to both Jordan and Wes, and of course, we're gonna get a little bit into their stories. So as Jordan mentioned, it has been 4 years since you presented on the 1 Million Cup stage, and probably met you right before or after that, and so have been incredibly proud of the way that you've grown and scaled your business here in town. So tell us, generally, which I know there's a lot of announcements, but can you give us 2 or 3 things that are new since you have graced this stage before? It's been 4 years, but what's been up?
That's a great question. 2 to 3 things that's new, far as just business development or just my personal life?
Talk about the personal life after. He's one of my best friends. But
I would say understanding what a market is. It wasn't until this year, well, I'm lying, it was last year. It's 2018, the beginning of it, but it wasn't until last summer I'd actually narrowed down who my target market is. Being in the fashion industry in Kansas City is not like the best opportunity for a fashion brand, just because it's not something that people are looking or seeking out for. This is a tech city. If you know anything about entrepreneurship, it's surrounded with technology. And fashion is developing in that form, but it's not really that many opportunities here for us, so to speak. So what I realize is my bread and butter comes from wedding clients. So people who are getting married, people who's going to galas and proms and special events. That's been where a lot of my income has come from. I've seen an influx in sales in that area. And so I decided to take this stance and say, you know what, I'm going to reposition my company as a premier neckwear company for the bridal and formal wear industry. And that was a really tough decision to make because I have literally built my clientele through grassroots initiatives. Everyone that has brought my product has been because of word of mouth, of events I've done, fashion shows, literally just word of mouth. And so making the decision has been really difficult. But when I think about scalability and I think about the future of my company and actually creating a household name in the fashion industry, I have to take those steps. Shout out to Shots by Miko. I had a comment I wanted to make to her. But what I realized just in this last past year is that in order for me to reach all of these markets, say for instance, when it comes to the children market or the men's market, I have to stop and really think about who's going to actually bring me the revenue so I can take on more responsibilities. Because right now I'm trying to do all these different markets and it's not bringing in the dough like I want it to, right? And so making a long story short, just to wrap this up, my goal is for the next 3 to 5 years is to work directly with the wedding industry, bridal industry. That's it. Build my revenue as much as possible. And once I reach that financial goal, take that money that I've raised and made, if you will, reinvest it into my company for other lines of product. So if you take, for instance, Ralph Lauren Polo. Ralph Lauren started as a bow tie business. I think it was, I don't know the years, but it started as a bow tie business. Ralph Lauren has bedding, it has shoes, it has women's wear, men's wear. So just learning the importance of taking a market, developing it as much as possible, building that revenue, and then reinvesting it. So I think that's one thing. And then leading to that, I actually secured a partnership with I was about to call it 311, with the Gown Gallery, which is an iconic, most respected, notable formal wear boutique for women. And so that actual partnership kicks off March 11th. Me and Miss Sharon is the owner, black lady, sweet old black lady. Well, she ain't old, she's mature. She'll
It's on
kill me
live
if she
stream.
heard
We
me
did
say
not
that.
mean that, Miss Sharon.
No, I did not, Miss Sharon. But she's the sweetest lady. She's been mentoring me for the last 3 years, so she's actually been giving me the courage to go forth with the wedding market. But anywho, make a long story short, that is where I'm going into. So that's something new, partnering with the Gown Gallery, and just understanding the market for what it is.
Sure. Well, what I love about what you shared is that one of the keys to scaling is finding those strategic partnerships, and also as the CEO of our business, understanding where the revenue generating work is and also training ourselves to focus on it. So that definitely
Yes.
sounds like progress. I'm excited for the launch.
Yes, I'm excited.
Wes, it has been 2 years since you've graced the 1 Million Cup stage. So tell us what 2017 looked like for you and how you ended your year. That was a leading question about New York.
All right. Man, so it's a little different when it comes to what I'm doing because it is nonprofit, which I think is great because even though I have a nonprofit, you're still doing the same amount of work as if you were doing it for profit. And you got to look for money. Same way. 2017, yeah, I did hit the 1 Million Cup stage, and at that time, I really didn't. I knew what I had the energy, I had everything, but I really had to find my niche. I had to figure out where was disabled, but not really going to make its biggest impact. And we started to work with CrossFit Memorial Hill, actually, and come up with a program. We did launch starting February. And it's called the Help Me Fit Challenge, #. So you check that out. We started to provide an 8-week program that does fitness and nutrition for people with disabilities. We are small in participants at the moment because we wanted to make sure we could be able to pay for their memberships and things to control everything that they needed for the 8 weeks. We really want to change their mindset through physical fitness and, nutrition too. So if they needed help, we wanted to make sure we had that. So then, WeWork came to town. WeWork came to town, and I met them actually here at 1 Million Cups. I met one of the guys here at 1 Million Cups, and I was just interested in co-working space. I was one of those entrepreneurs that, you say, hey, where you work? Where your office at? I'm like, I work from home, and
At the kitchen table.
Yeah, all the time. No, I was actually in a bed. I wasn't getting up. I wasn't getting. But I got tired of being in that bed, so I went to WeWork. And one of the good things that I learned through this process, and Disabled But Not Really was founded in 2015, so we're still climbing. But what I learned is that you sacrifice to see bigger things happen for your business, and I've invested in myself, and I told myself, man, I want to go somewhere where people can really know what we're doing. You can always, my social media presence is great, but if I'm not out in the community and really pitching what I'm doing, no one knows. Same thing, kind of like what Miko was saying, you have to let people know who you are. So WeWork was a great place. We did some events during the summer following the winter as well, called Hydrate the Homeless. And it was a pretty great event where we just gave back and brought some other leaders in the community, and we teamed up and did some great things. Well, we were acknowledged by that. WeWork looked at everything that I was doing. Once again, they couldn't see it if I wasn't there. December 3rd, it was International Disability Day. I was actually featured on BBC America. I did an interview on there with them. They followed me around a competition in September, so it was a big deal. Well, WeWork had actually submitted a nomination for me for a Community Givers Award for Disabled But Not Really, and just the things we were doing in the community. I found out the end of December that we were selected, where I was selected as 1 out of 4 people out of 200,000 members. And, they told me they was gonna fly me to New York. That was great, right? I'm like, I've never been flew anywhere on somebody else's dime, so I was ready. I was ready to go. Get to New York, great event. They asked me, could I speak for a little bit? It was, blew me away because it was it was huge. It was a lot of people. So one of the biggest accomplishments there was I was granted $18,000 after I received my award, something that I didn't expect at all. And it showed me what, that sacrifice means, because I didn't expect it. The only thing I expected was to get this award. I was good with having a hotel room down by Times Square.
That was award enough.
Yeah, it was good enough, And to get that, it was great. And that was the middle of January. I will say January 1st, we actually won a contest through, I don't even want to get their name wrong, but I think it's LJ Creative. And won a $20,000 grant for a website redesign, which also provides photography as well as videos and everything else that we needed to build our platform. So that was pretty great too. It's like all these great things are happening. 2 weeks ago, Disabled But Not Really was featured in Ebony magazine as one of 6. Thank you. One of 6 African-American owned businesses that you should have on your radar for 2018. Very, 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 very humbling to be acknowledged.
Well, if I would have been more prepared, I would have had his GQ picture up here, because he's been in several magazines. But what I like about what these gentlemen are sharing, not only are they building their businesses relentlessly, but they're also giving back to the community while doing that. So there's an element of social entrepreneurship there, and also a real desire to help others as you grow, which I would commend just the Black business community in Kansas City for having that as one of our principles. Will you all tell us about some of the resources that have been helpful for you as you have grown and scaled your business so that you can give back to others?
I know for sure when I had got started, UMKC. Well, let me go back. Let me take a step back. In 2013, I had went on Google. That was like my thing. But anywho, so I went and found KC SourceLink. That was my first stop. I had found them, and I went by there. I sat down with some man, and he just was like telling me all this good stuff. I'm just like, oh, this is really cool. And so that was my first meeting, and then it finally hit me that I was a business person. And if anybody in this room, they know what I'm talking about. You don't know what you're getting yourself into until you get in it, and you like, whoa, this is what I signed up for. And so that hit me, I think, maybe 6 months into it, because the first 6 months was a breeze. It was fun. I was meeting people, and then life came at you. But then after that, I began to really understand what business was and start to develop it. Then I get introduced into UMKC's eScholars program. That definitely worked out for me. I'm one of the recipients over at the Venture Hub. So that's provided me a space where I can work at like a really good rate. So it's been very great. And I think just with entrepreneurship, I've always tried to find things that I can spend my time with. So I'm also a mentor with Generation Rap. Generation Rap is the hottest teen talk show on the planet, Hot 103 Jams. I gotta work on that. Anywho, so it's a teen talk show. We meet every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. talking about local issues or national issues, and the teenagers share their experiences and opinions. So I do that. Also, I'm a member of Rightfully Sewn. I'm actually a council member, and we pretty much provide support to the fashion community in two ways. One, how do we keep fashion designers here thriving in our community so they won't leave and go to the major cities? And how do we actually provide seamstress programming so we can create more jobs for seamstress, if you will. So yeah, entrepreneurship and just being here, and there's tons of things. I know I do a lot of things with Joy Cuts every year for his turkey drive. That's always something that I latch on to. So I mean, it's just different opportunities that I find myself willing to give my time and support to, and there's tons of other things that I can name, but I know I'm dedicated to Generation Rap and Rightfully So.
So,
I'm gonna ask you a different question, because we already know how WeWork has been a good resource for you.
WeWork. Make sure y'all check out WeWork, 1828 Walnut, 3rd floor.
That's a shout out for you. So I read this great quote yesterday, and I'm just curious about what you all think. It says, first you build the team, first you build the dream, then the dream builds you. Which I think is interesting, because we do often get into entrepreneurship, myself included, and then once you're in there, you realize I might have been good at 10 things at my job, but as a business owner, now I have to try to be good at 100 or figure out how to find partners to help me with that. So will you tell us about a time that your business required you to operate at a higher level, where you really felt yourself moving from an entrepreneur or a designer who wanted to be a business person, when you felt like you really moved into being a business person? So it caused you to operate at a higher level.
I feel like I was just like, this was like something out of the book Principles, but because I literally just read something about being a designer, but you have to be a worker as well as to fulfill your design. Honestly, I think that's just my whole journey. I've had to put in that work. I had to do multiple jobs. If you know me, or if you want to get to know me, you will see me everywhere. I believe in the networking aspect. I believe in the social media content. I believe in, really presenting myself and putting myself out there. But I still have to do the back end. I still have to send emails. I'm like my own personal assistant. I just started building a board, but I didn't want to build a board without a vision, and a vision that, they could really engage into. So for a lot, I had to put in that work myself. And I just feel that I am still the worker, but my design and my vision is becoming a lot more clear, because I'm able to work and I'm able to fail at certain things and then learn from them, where that I can actually write out my blueprint. So when I do present it to my board members and anyone else that comes to me to figure out what are we doing, how do we operate, I'm like, okay, well, this is what worked, because I was able to fail instead of bringing others around and then they fail and they don't know how to handle it. This is what I believe in. This is coming from passion. So for it to be something that I'm passionate about, I'm willing to fail and I'm willing to learn and I'm willing to keep working until it gets to where it needs to be. And for me, my design is just to impact the disabled community everywhere. I had to go where, you put in that footwork, where I put in wheel work.
Ha 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 ha. We got it. We get it.
I like that. But yeah, and I had to get to a point where I believed that what I had could scale so large that it would be globally. So now it's like, for me, it's really working. I mean, when you love what you do, you really don't look at the hours, you know. And I see myself really putting in 18-hour days.
Sure.
But my design, again, is just becoming more and more put together.
Sure, relentless pursuit of it too, as
All
it
day.
develops. Yeah, I love it, and we see it. Jordan, what about you? Can you tell us about, or maybe the biggest lesson you've learned that has helped you mentally fortify for what it takes to be an entrepreneur? Because half of it, we know, if you've been an athlete too, it's mental. You really have to wake up and say, and sometimes psych yourself out, and sometimes multiple times a day. So can you tell us about some of the lessons that you've learned that have helped you really have confidence to walk as an entrepreneur?
I'm going through that right now. I'm gonna give you a story, that I've already went through, because I don't think I can talk about this one. But I got 3 minutes. Okay, I'm gonna do it in 30 seconds. Yeah, you pulled me there. What's the question?
My bad.
What's the biggest challenge I face?
Or the biggest lesson that you've learned that guides you, that helps you on those days that that it's hard?
Honestly, it's my faith. I'm a believer. I believe in Christ. And I find myself in those moments where literally one day I'm up, I'm running around, I'm feeling good, I'm just feeling it. Then the next day I'm like, man, I ain't doing nothing today. And that is real, and what I realize in those times, I'm really depressed. I'm not feeding myself right, I'm going through all these emotions back and forth, and then I gotta come and present, and I have to be on. I got to make sure I meet a client. I got to get some money. So it's a lot of responsibilities that I think entrepreneurs face. And I know we've talked plenty of times about mental health and how mental health for an entrepreneur is just completely different. I mean, if you stop and really think about it, we're trying to become like, Chipotle, or we're trying to be like the next Apple. And when you stop and think about that,
I said Oprah.
Oprah. Oh, sorry. Us little people don't think that big, Adrian. I'm sorry. No, I'm just saying. But it's a lot, and I think that it just really requires me to have me rooted in my faith and finding that time to just kind of like sit in silence, meditate, and just pray and just really work through things and understand what exactly am I doing and paying attention to it. Sorry, my time is up. Okay, got it.
Well, I also wanted you to just mention that too, because one of the things I think is important in entrepreneurship is that it can sometimes feel like a silo and that we're doing it on our own. So it's good to know that even some of the most successful businesses in Kansas City, we all have to work at really psyching ourselves up, building the systems, surrounding ourselves with a team of people, and also just giving back, that relentless pursuit of it. So Wes, you got one more thing you want to add? And then I'm going to ask that final question.
Yeah. Basically, you got to embrace your reality, and you have to look at your challenges. You have to realize what they are, but you embrace them. For me, I'm a little bit different than Jordan, because I wake up in the morning. Every time I wake up, I'm excited for my day. So my drive is crazy. My day is crazy. And I wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning every day. And it's all because, like, what I have to embrace is being paralyzed. So my reality hits me as soon as I open my eyes. Like, so I'm literally telling myself, man, how bad do you want it? How bad do you want what you have to be able to impact someone else? Regardless of what it is, we're all providing a service. We're all trying to be a game changer. We're all trying to be a solution to some problem. So when you think about that, you wake up in the morning, you can't really allow something to defeat you if you want it that bad. So for me, it's like, man, if I can get out that bed every morning, then I'm already ready to go. I'm already ready to start to push and impact someone else's life and inspire. And it goes to social media. It goes to me being at the office. It goes to me going to the gym every day. I don't miss a day. And you know, but that's what I would tell anyone. It's like, if you want it that bad, you're gonna go out there and you're gonna put in that work. I don't look at the end result. I look at it as being a lifestyle. You know, I wanna climb that mountain, but at the same time, it was a mountain to climb just to be where I am today. Sure. So I know the process. So you enjoy the process, but you know that it's gonna be, you're gonna be grateful for it at the end. Sure. But don't look at the end result too fast. Just enjoy the process. But every day you work hard. You don't let one accomplishment stop your grind. I don't let anything, anything stop me. Even after I got, the money from WeWork, the next day I was wondering, how can I impact someone else's life? When I got on Ebony Magazine, the next day I was like, okay, well, this is what I got to do. So every day I start over.
I love it. Thank you, Wes. Well, on that note, I would really encourage you all, we know their business names, right? Wes Hamilton, Disabled But Not Really Foundation, the one and only Jordan Williams with Keith Cravat. I would encourage you to follow them on social media. We know that is sometimes as entrepreneurs how we gauge our, how much of an impact we're making. So encourage them, double tap those pictures, like their pages, and they'll be here afterwards to chat as well. We're gonna transition and I'll have Kyle do that. Thank you, Kyle. Please join me in giving these gentlemen a round of applause.
Awesome. Thank you all so much for joining us. This has been a blast. I want to welcome up the community partners who have helped us make this month-long Black History Month celebration possible. So Quest is going to make his way up here. Here comes Daryl. Davin's in the back.
Come on, Quest.
Come on up. 1 Million Cups organizers, come on up. We want to say thank you. Thank you so much to this team and a few others who are not here. You've seen their logos come across here. We could not have made this month-long Black History Month celebration possible without their help. And I want to leave you with this. Diversity and inclusion is important to us year-round here at 1 Million Cups. And I am very well aware that that sounds like a lot of BS. So let me be real with you. Part of why we decided to celebrate Black History Month here at 1 Million Cups was to let all of you know that we are not colorblind. We see you. Anytime a white person or an organization tells you that they are colorblind, I don't care how good their justification sounds, part of it is fear. It's fear that if they look at the color of their skin and then look at the color of your skin, they may have to admit that the world treats us differently, and that hurts. But we are not afraid. Okay, we're not afraid because we know that by celebrating our differences, it strengthens all of us. So while we can't, thank you. So while we can't celebrate a different race or gender or whatever every month at 1 Million Cups, what we can celebrate is entrepreneurs. We can celebrate entrepreneurs who see a problem and actually go out to do something about it. We can celebrate entrepreneurs who dare to be billionaires like Miko. We can celebrate entrepreneurs who will risk complete and utter failure in order to leave the world better than they found it. So if you want to celebrate entrepreneurs with us, please join us every Wednesday, 9 a.m., right here at the Kauffman Foundation. We'll be here next week with presentations from Orion Biosciences and WizBiz. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. Nobody wants to end Black History Month by listening to a white guy talk, so please hang out and enjoy the small business fair. There are still plenty of samples to be eaten. Also, if anyone has Benadryl or an EpiPen, can you come grab me? Thank you so much for coming out, guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.